Hey guys, it's Kay from Chaos Anonymous, and I'm here today with a new subreddit to the channel, r/WeWon'tCallYou. Mad skills and qualifications. So this isn't from an interview, but rather a former colleague reached out to me about a position at my new place. Having worked with him previously, I knew he was capable and told him that if he applied, I would gladly give my recommendation. He then sent his resume directly to me. I am not the hiring manager, and I told him as much, directing him to the website to apply. He asked me if I could upload his resume for him because he had his hands full with newborn twins. Being a father myself, I took pity on him and opted to help, and that's when I saw his actual resume and the sea of red flags. Spelling errors aside, there were 3 major oddities that stuck out to me. First was his claim to have overseen a $50 million project. Again, I worked with him in the same department. I knew what he was doing most days. He did not oversee any kind of project, and certainly not one to the tune of $50 million. I asked him about this, and he told me, without a hint of sarcasm or joking, that he put that because the annual operating cost of the entire department was $50 million, and he was, quote, a large part of field operations. I told him that was wholly inaccurate and that he should remove this BS humble brag from his resume. The next 2 flags were in his skills and qualifications sections. Most normal people would put something like proficient in Excel or list their certifications. I quickly realized I did not know this guy as well as I thought. He listed poker and owning libs as his skills. I honestly thought it was a typo. Again, I had to ask him about this. His response was on par with something that Dwight Schrute would say. Well, I put poker because I'm good at reading people, playing mind games, outfoxing the fox. Long pause from me while my eyes rolled to the point of straining my ocular socket muscles. And the other part? I asked, bracing myself for imminent cringe. Oh, I'm good at arguing with stupid people online. That speaks to my communication skills. He was not joking about any of this. In my time with working with him, he never said anything half this stupid. Now I was wondering how he even got that job. I did not end up submitting his resume or referring him. As obnoxious as it was for him to be like, can you upload my resume for me? It's kind of a blessing in disguise. Can you imagine him submitting that online and then like putting that person had referred him or he knew him, and then them contacting them and being like, you mean you referred this dude? And they'd be like, oh yeah, sure. That would reflect so badly on your judgment as a person. You can find that information on our website. I had an interview earlier this year for this amazing eco-friendly organization. The role was pretty much to audit their environmental expenses and try to find a way to cut back on harm to the environment. I am 100% eco-friendly, so this was the role of my dreams. I studied my butt off for this interview and was super excited the day of. Arrived to the interview, the 2 managers are clearly in a bad mood. Not sure if they were always like that or if I just came in after a bad meeting or something. Interview goes fine, and at the end they asked me if I had any questions. I had a ton of questions because I was genuinely interested in their organization. Again, I did hours of research on this place. Some answers I couldn't find online, so after the typical questions about the position, I asked some questions about some projects they're currently working on, some future projects, etc. They simply responded, you can find that on our website. Excuse me, what, lol? That completely killed my mood. I've never had an interviewer say that to me. And let me stress the fact that I wasn't asking dumb questions for the sake of asking them. I asked questions about stuff I couldn't find online. So I simply said, okay, I will, and went on with my day. Didn't get the position. Still upset over it because it would have been the role of my dreams, but I can't imagine working with managers like that. Honestly, most of those people aren't going to know what's on the website unless if it's something simple like what's your contact information or what hours or something simple like that. But a lot of the time, managers aren't always quite aware what's exactly on their website. For them to be just like, you can find that on our website, like, that's just rude. Now, something I have learned is to always have questions, even if they are dumb questions. Obviously, this person didn't have dumb questions. They were like genuinely very interested, couldn't find that on the website, were told to, blah, blah, blah. But I learned the hard way when I went to my very first interview. And I didn't know you were supposed to ask questions. I thought, like, they would tell me information, like, you know, like the interview part, and then, like, if they're want to, like, keep going, they might say, okay, well, this is what's gonna happen, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not how that works. So I interviewed at a place that was opening, so I didn't know when they were going to open, but I figured, like, they would tell me, right? So my genius, like, 16-year-old self, I don't remember how old I was, probably 16. Oh my gosh. So we get through the interview process. I'm like doing my best. They're being super like understanding of my dumb self. And then they get to the, do you have any questions for us? And I say, I don't think so. And then this guy goes, really? Not like, when are you opening? And I was like, needless to say, that ended, poorly. I guess Geminis are not the right people to work at a hotel. Don't know if this fits this subreddit, but I think you might enjoy anyway. Also, sorry if I misspell something, English is not my first language. A few months ago, I applied for a job at a hotel reception. I was almost immediately called for an interview. The lady on the phone seemed nice, so I was looking forward to go there. The hotel was very hard to find, but I still managed to be there 5 minutes early, as I always do. The interview goes well. She didn't ask me the usual questions, and instead just chats with me. She tells me she thinks I would be the perfect candidate for the job, and she asked me if I could come by the next day to show me around and to see if I would like the job. So the next day I go back to the hotel, and she shows me some rooms and the reception before she complains about the way I was dressed. She wanted me to dress only in black and white. I was wearing gray pants. Not a big deal. She could have told me beforehand, but I apologized, and that was it. Her son shows me how the computer program they use for the bookings works, and then they ask me to come back the next day to see how they greeted the guests. I agree, and even if I was not thrilled to start working there, I would have preferred to have a job without having to work every weekend and every holiday, but since it would have been my first job, I figured I just had to take what I got. I could still continue looking for something else. I was happy to be asked to come back. So the next day I come back, and the lady starts telling me that she thinks I'm perfect for the job, and that she would love to give me the opportunity to work there, starting with a 6-month apprenticeship. I tell her that I'm grateful for the opportunity and that I would love to work there. The same evening, I get a call from her. She starts saying that she had done a lot of interviews, but that she didn't like any of the other candidates, and that none of them spoke any other language. I speak 3 foreign languages, but that she had to offer the job to someone else. Of course, I ask why, since she already offered me the job. She told me that I was perfect, but that she couldn't take the risk giving the job to a Gemini. Yup, she didn't give me the job because I am a Gemini. I just thanked her for her time and hung up. Of course, I realized that it was just some excuse she made up to not tell me the real reason why I didn't get the job, but I was speechless. I had done many interviews at that point, and they always told me I didn't have enough experience. I just came out of school, which was fine, but being told I wasn't the right zodiac sign was just ridiculous. So I'm not sure what country this is, because they said, English wasn't their first language. But I think in the US, that's pretty much not a reason you can discriminate against hiring someone. Like, if you like them and you feel that they're fit for the job and you don't have a better candidate, then not having the right zodiac sign is not legally a reason not to hire somebody, I think. Is that how this works? I don't know. I don't hire people. Oh my gosh. Part of me thinks she sincerely is like that. I know, like, they're saying it's probably an excuse, but some people are really serious about that kind of stuff. Who knows? Maybe they really felt like a Gemini just couldn't fit into that role. So this is a very brief encounter that I witnessed about 3 months ago when I was waiting for an interview at a recruiting agency. I went in and was told to wait for the interviewer to come get me, so I sat down and waited for about 10 minutes. During that time, a woman walked into the office with a man sort of trailing behind her. She was being extremely nice, and the guy kept asking her questions about the recruiting company. She explains to him multiple times how the selection process works and hands him a pamphlet with all the information. The process is super simple. You register on the website and provide a CV. If they have any suitable offers for you, they call you. My experience was fantastic. They were super professional and I got the job they called me for. But this guy just wasn't getting it. He kept asking the same questions over and over again, and the girl just wanted to go back to work, but was still being super nice without kicking him out. She once again explains he needs to register himself on the website and hand in a CV. I can't do that.
Why not?
I don't know how to do it.
Okay. Can you get someone to help you register, like a friend or a family member?
No. You do it for me.
Sir, unfortunately, you have to do it yourself. Do you have a CV?
No, I don't.
Well, then, that's the first thing you need to work on.
You write it for me. Write my CV and register me on your website. The guy seemed like he was in his 40s. Definitely not an 80-year-old who has never seen a computer. In this day and age, typing a CV is the minimum you should be able to do if you expect to get a job. Also, it seemed like he just walked into the building and started asking questions without doing research or without a previous appointment. Now, I'm sure there are places that will help you, like, write one of those, but you can't just, like, go into an agency and be like, hi, how does this work? And they tell you how it works, and they're like, yeah, can you just do all that for me? Like, no, that's not how this works, but okay. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening and watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and drop a like and let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. On the screen, you should see my face palmers and my crazy case. I don't know what I'm doing, but thank you all so much for being patrons and helping me out in that way. If you all have any stories or things you would like to share for future videos, go ahead and send it to my email at ksanonymous@gmail.com, and I'll talk to you all in my next video. Bye!